you talked about getting discovered on YouTube and linking up with, Fam and eventually Pharrell, Legends. What were those last like months like leading up to that point before you hit your breakthrough?
It was
Where you
crazy.
could where you could really say like, yo, this is a legitimate reality. I can make a living off of this. I can pursue this.
Um, Man, I feel like when I think about, like you say, when did I think I can make a living off of this?
Yeah, when did it start to become a reality for you that like, yo, this Boston 9 to 5 shit, like, I'm really making that move.
I wasn't working a 9 to 5. Like I was pretty comfortable in where I was at. When Fan found me, I just liked doing music so much. Like it was just a passion for me, and it was a brand new passion. So I was like, just so in love with making music that I didn't even know I could have a career from it. I just really
Mm,
wanted to. So I just at that time put myself like, what can I do? Like I just wanted to learn from them and soak up as much as I could and take away as much information and as much knowledge and I could from them so that I could make it a career. It still to this day feels like, it's surreal. It's so surreal. Like it's always one of those things where it's like you never know where it's gonna go. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no promise road in music. It's just like you gotta do it because you love it and know you're doing it for the right reasons and doing it to better your life and the people's around you.
yeah, facts, facts. Doing it for the love and it's paying off in other ways. So that's
The
definitely what's
blessings just
up.
came. The blessings come when you work hard. Like when you
Yeah.
work at that shit and you really focus, then the blessings just come.
hmm So so let's talk about how you got into music before we start shifting to more recent things you've been doing. Like what was that like? Did you always have a love for music? What inspired you to start recording?
I always had a love for music. I always knew I liked rap way more than anything in the world. It was so
Mm.
weird. My stepdad used to buy me like CDs, like unedited CDs, and I would like hide them from my mom because I wasn't supposed to like listen to unedited Nas CDs or D12 CDs and shit like that. So I always knew I loved rap, and it was just weird. I was probably writing lyrics at like 12, and then I had a friend that was putting together a mixtape, and they were like, "Hey, can you be a girl, rap on this mixtape? Like, can you do a song? I'll write the verses for you." And I was like, "Nigga, I can write my own verses. Like, I don't want you to write my verse." So I wrote it, and then everybody heard it. They were like, "Wow, this is really good. Like, you should probably rap a little bit more." And I was like, "You know what? I love it. Like, let me try." And I just tried, and now we here.
And now we here. That's what's up. So, oftentimes I hear a lot from artists that, it's not that they didn't believe in themselves, but, getting a cosign from somebody that does this shit, getting that fam cosign, that Pharrell cosign really inspired them to go to the next level with their shit. So kind of explain that, getting the cosign from legends in the game.
Um, well, at first when I met Fam, he just like became like my big brother right away. Like, he
Mm,
just for me with Fam, it wasn't a cosign. It was more so like my like an angel. Like he like came to me and just helped me get my life together, just helped me get my vision together, and it was more. It didn't feel like oh, I fuck with this girl, she's hard. Like y'all should fuck with her too. You know what I'm saying? It didn't feel like
yeah,
that. It felt like, yo, I want to see you do this. I want to see you be better. So let's get better. Let's work. You know.
that's what's
With
up.
Pharrell, it felt like the same thing. It felt like a big brother, but as the world seen it as a cosign, it was like it was like a, it was just weird, man. Like people would just be weird. Like other people just change when they see you with somebody like that, and then they don't understand that he's a normal person too. Like yeah,
Facts.
his mind is elevated and he thinks in a different way, but he's still a regular person. So I never really looked at them like that.
Yeah, for sure. It's easy from people on the outside kind of thinking of a cosign, but these are people that was really looking out for you and like wanted to see you do well. So I definitely feel you on that. So let's talk a little bit more about the initial move. Before we got to LA, there was a Boston to Miami move. So let's talk about that. How was that process like?
Miami, I was broke. Miami was a struggle, man. Like, you got to talk about it because it's real. Like, if
Yeah,
people
and this
don't
is
know that,
after being introduced to fam, right? Because there's a lot of niggas out there that think like, yo, I get plugged in a little bit and then I start making millions right away. And talk to these.
Papa, that's not how it works. I thought, you know what? Surprisingly, like, I kind of thought it was gonna be like that. Like, I feel like everybody does. When you're an artist, you don't expect people to just go and hand things to you, but you expect like, all right, somebody found me, like it's about to get lit, you know? But it's not. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. Like, you know, I moved to Miami so that I could get studio time. Like, I wasn't getting. I was paying for all my studio time out of pocket in Boston. And it's expensive. Anybody that pays for their own studio time knows that you cannot afford that shit by yourself. So I moved to Miami to learn. And in that, you know, I left a decent little job. I was, you know, waitressing, bartending. I was making good money. Like, I had a little condo. I left my life that was comfortable to me to go live by myself, struggle, like work a 9 to 5, like a retail job. And,
Put
you
that
know,
work in.
just so I could get studio time and learn, you know? And through that process, like I went through, you know, the shit, mattress on the floor. Like I went through the struggle, like just like everybody else. Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches straight for like 6 months. What's that burger spot that you could get a burger?
What,
Five Guys.
McDonald's?
It was a lot of Five Guys in that time.
At what point, when you were in Miami going through the struggle, did you start seeing traction in what you was doing?
I was working at LeBron's sneaker store. I was working at Unknown. At the time, it was, you know, it was LeBron's store, Unknown Boutique, and it's a live ass store. I love it still to this day. Like those are my people, so go there. But aside from that, like I was working there, and people would come to the store and recognize me and be like, "Oh, are you that girl that signed to Pharrell? Like, aren't you like signed to Pharrell? Why are you working at the sneaker store?" Like people would be like, you know, like, "Yo, I just seen a picture with you and Pharrell, and now you're at the sneaker store." Like they didn't get it. So I feel like during that time I was putting out music, I was putting out freestyles, we were playing the music in the store, people were coming in, and then I was getting interviewed for Sister to Hip Hop, a reality show at the time.
Yeah.
And you know, that's when people started to really like take notice of who I was and listen to me.
Okay, so let's talk about the sisterhood a little bit more. What was that experience like being on reality TV? Because you know, it certainly has its benefits in terms of the publicity and like getting your name out there, but then there's also downsides to being in reality TV. So talk about that experience a little bit more.
Man, like there's not much to really say about it. Like I'm just way too real for reality TV. Like it was like a big facade. You know? I'm not really like that type of person, and I'm kind of to myself anyway. So, I mean, shout out to all the girls on the show because that's one thing. All the girls are real dope and real talented. But reality TV took away from everybody's individuality, everybody's talent. They try to make things seem like, you know, shit that it's not. And one thing, I'm grateful for the people that found me off the show. I'm grateful for the message that I was able to send through the show. I'm grateful for the people that I met through the show. But I'm not grateful for the stigma and all the bullshit that comes with reality TV. Like, you don't really know who's fans for your music and who's fans for your personal life. It gets messy.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Did that make it harder to focus on music for you, or was that more inspiration to do what you do?
Oh, it fueled me. Like, it made me so angry at the way that I felt like it took away from my artistry.
Yeah.
I felt like it didn't do me justice as an artist, and it didn't do my struggle justice. You know, it didn't do
Absolutely.
like my moves, like everything that I did to get to that point. It didn't do it justice, and it didn't allow. It took away too much of from my music for me to like ever mess with reality TV ever again.
For sure. So we talk a lot about Pharrell. Let's describe that initial meeting when you know you met the big homie for the first time. What was that like? I'm hearing that it was an audition of some sorts. So describe that moment for you a little bit.
It didn't feel like an audition. It didn't feel like that. It felt like I went to go meet him, and I wasn't nervous like I thought I was gonna be. You know, like I thought I was gonna see him and be like oh shit, that's Pharrell. But I kept it cool. Like I was real like, all right, that's really dope. Like let me just keep it cool because they might not ever bring me back. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't want to like, I was like this might be a one time thing, so let me just keep it cool. So I kept it cool, and he's like, look, I got a song. I want you to write a 16 for it, and right now, if it's hard, I'm gonna leave you on the song. And if it's whack, I'm gonna take you off of it. But I'm not gonna tell you whose song it is. So I was like, oh shit, this is do or die. Like, if I don't write,
my moment.
This is my moment. Like that's what I felt like. So I wrote the 16, and I went in the booth and I spit it in like maybe 6 bars, and they stopped me, and they was like, yo, it just went crazy. So that's when I knew. I was like, yes, it's hard.